All eyes are on the Gauteng ANC's Provincial Executive this afternoon. They're expected to report back on the final word about those quarantined votes from the party's Ekurhuleni Regional Conference. There have been suggestions that the matter should be dealt with by the PEC that will emerge from this conference. Let's take you to that briefing now.
We had challenges on the administration side because of members of the ANC, many who are employed were unable to come in the morning or during the day for registrations, and majority would have came in the afternoon. We did communicate to branches and structures the difficulty of starting as we wanted to. Coupled to that, there was an invitation for an agent NEC meeting, which we felt that we can't start a conference with the chairperson and the secretary of the province not in the conference. And then we went to the NEC. I'm sure it's a well-known fact by now that it started at 7 p.m. and finished at 4 a.m. The NEC had 2 items, and at some point they will speak about the meeting of the NEC. I don't have a mandate to speak on behalf of the NEC. And what came out of the NEC was a decision, 2 fundamental decisions as it relates to Gauteng, was that we must save the provincial conference. The provincial conference must happen. Secondly, that the matter of Ekurhuleni, 5 branches, 19 votes, be referred back to the PEC, and that the PEC should take a decision on that matter. On arrival here, members of the PEC were then informed of a meeting, agent meeting, to be convened. And when we were about to start at 8:30, the NEC deployees requested that we give them some time because they would have not slept, and it's a physical meeting. So we had to wait for them, and we were excited to see so many NEC deployees coming to a meeting. In the conference, we have 16 NEC members coming here. The PEC started with a brief about the state of readiness from the Secretariat, and we did indicate that we are ready with the conference. We are delayed by 1 matter. Whenever we resolve this matter, the conference will start. And the PEC was happy to read such a report. On the actual matter, the matter presented before the PEC was, firstly, how was the matter handled by the NEC? And in the NEC, we received a report from the NWC on this matter, the report from Comrade Jeff Khadebe, the task team established by national officials, the report from Comrade Joe Masongani, a convener of deployees in Gauteng, and lastly a report from Comrade Jacob Kawe, the Provincial Secretary of Gauteng. All these reports were then subjected to the meeting, and the meeting, after a lot of engagement, came to this conclusion, that let this matter go back to Gauteng for 3 reasons. 1, comply with the constitutional rule that the provincial, the regional and branch meetings are coordinated and supervised by the PEC. And given that, it was important to bring back the matter. But equally, if in the event we take a decision that somebody has to appeal, if it's taken by the NEC, it means you only have the National Appeals Committee only listen to it. So it's better that it goes to Gauteng. This is how the PC started, with that briefing. And then the PC had the discussions on the matter. And I should indicate that the matters that were dominant as we were discussing was that no, these branches have been disqualified. There is a report disqualifying them. So why do you want to bring them? The second view was these branches, there is another report that qualified them. And the logic of now disqualifying, and the other dominant views was but allow them to come into the conference. Having engaged all of us, we thought the best mechanism, because for now there are no details on the areas that we are discussing. The PC felt that we are not yet empowered to deal with this matter. Two, that as PEC, we had not engaged with these branches. Three, that all these reports needs to be processed. A report of those who were deployed by the PEC to run the conference, the report of the organizing committee as to why was there a re-verification, and the report of the task team, which the task team had said that they are waiting for national officials to give them clear that they should, what we call, they can share the report with us. So having acknowledged that weakness, the PC said that we need to perhaps find another way of dealing with the matter, and that the conference should go ahead and these branches be allowed to come to the conference, participate as all other delegates in the conference, vote like all other delegates in the conference. However, until you conclude their issue, you should quarantine their votes. So that's the decision of the PEC. What does that mean? It means that firstly, you have not unfairly excluded branches that you shouldn't exclude. But secondly, you have not given all the rights to people that are still subject for another process of investigation. And that's why we're starting with the conference. As we speak, we are about to be addressed by the national chairperson of the ANC, Comrade Gauteng, and then we'll do political report by the provincial chair, and then we'll go to a closed session where we'll be adopting the conference rules, the credentials of the conference, the secretariat report, the treasurer's report, and then allow conference to discuss these reports and conclude the day. So we will request the conference to agree that we conclude what we were supposed to conclude today. We are aware that we are a bit behind on time, but the chair is going to make a request with the delegates that at least if we can push and finish the business of the day today, and that is receiving all the reports and adopting the credentials, that will be good for our conference. That's where I will end.
Thank you so much. Yes, DPS, do you want to make additions?
No.
No additions. Can we kindly take hands? We know the drill. Name, media house, and then your question. We'll start on my left. Number 1, number 2 in front of me, number 3 behind me. Is that all? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I'll come this side. You are number 1. Any other hand? My lights lawang shaya going. Or number 2. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll in that order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thanks. Your hand up. Oh, okay. So.
Natasha Fury here from SABC News. Mr. Kawe, do you not fear legal action? Because I mean, these delegates had threatened legal action before because of these quarantine votes. And then you said that you had not consulted with these delegates. since the Ekurhuleni conference and now, do you not think that the ANC in the province should have actually, engaged them on this issue? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Tsiri Madia from Eyewitness News. Just two quick questions. Provincial Secretary, as we speak, I know you might have addressed this at the State of Radio's briefing, but there is a letter that is doing the round saying that, from the Integrity Commission that you should face disciplinary charges, and some people say that that's sufficient enough for you to not be allowed to deliver an organizational report. Just your general views on, one, that letter and what it means. Secondly, the view that this means that you're not the right person to deliver an organizational report today. Secondly, the issue of the quarantined votes, just your general impression on the back and forth around it. I think a lot of people still to question, why is Ekurhuleni so important? Why those votes were so important? Why did it to go from when it happened to a task team, to the officials, to the NWC, to an NEC, and back to province? Just your general help us understand the importance of these people, and also the impact of some of them, because I understand some of them might have been branch delegates to the conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 3.
I want you to Mago, SABC News. I'll branch off a bit. I'm partially covered by the two colleagues. We've been to Mpumalanga, we've been to Limpopo, we've been to the Eastern Cape. Yes, we understand that there has to be some careful approach, for a lack of a better word, when it comes to the issue of security. But here in Gauteng it's worse. We've seen buses, we've seen our cars on it open and all of those things. It's scary, to be honest with you. What is it that makes you go that extra mile to this extent that we've seen here? And shouldn't you, as the organization, be utilizing a private security company? Why use SAPS? Thank you.
Okay. Number 4.
I guess my question relates to Yati regarding
Name and media house.
Yes. I guess my one relates to the question that Yati gets to in regards to the cases to how far it is and is there jurisdiction to protect Mr. Kawa to be here. But secondly, my question is around the process. This entire process in quarantine votes, I wanted to know whether the PEC or NEC identified, has the PEC or NEC identified whether it was the office of the SGO that gave the RSC a mandate to notify the branches that were supposed to participate in the Ekurhuleni Regional Conference? Yeah.
Thank you. The last speaker.
Brian Sukuti from the Citizen. Mr. Secretary, the Ekurhuleni matter remains unresolved. By when do you think this matter will be resolved, because it's been dragging for some time? The other question is, in terms of the very same matter, what impact do you think this will have on the conference?
Okay. No brainwave. Thank you very much. PS and PS?
The threat of legal action always exists. Nowadays, when members are not happy and they feel that they are not listened to properly, or that nobody considered their concerns, that option exists, that we can go to court.
There you have it. The ANC's Provincial Executive Committee's Provincial Secretary there, Mr. Kawe, addressing the media, answering some questions as they were briefing the media about what is to happen. Basically, those controversial, disputed quarantined votes from the regional conference of the ANC in Ekurhuleni a few weeks ago will not stop this provincial conference from going ahead, and members from Ekurhuleni, the branches that are represented, will take part in the provincial conference, but their vote in this provincial conference will be put aside until the whole issue has been resolved. I just wonder how that will impact the outcome. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what the impact of this will be from the outcome of the ANC's Gauteng Provincial Conference.